Welcome back, Gaming with King family, to another F1 Clash video, and we're here for the boost guide for your Australian event, where we're going to be sharing with you guys the best boost to use for each track in the event. And check this out, the Australia event, one driver, Danny Ricciardo, right? And then you have like only one Australia track in there, and that was in the qualifying round. No Australia in the opening round. It's like the first event we've seen a featured event with no of that same track in the opening round or the final round, and the track is in the game. Crazy. All right, let's jump on into it. First track up is going to be Belgium. 50% chance of rain at Belgium here. So let's go see what you need for Belgium. All right, so pardon me there. All right. Let's go see what you need for Belgium. For Belgium, the boost selection is going to be speed and corners. Now, Belgium is one of those track where speed and corners kind of rule. So it doesn't matter if it's wet or dry. Speed and corners is the thing for Belgium. All right. So if it's wet, then you're still going to need speed and corners. However, when selecting dry boost, you want to select a boost without the wetness ability feature. And when selecting a wet boost, you want to select the boost with that wetness ability feature. All right, so though we say speed and corners, you want to go for a boost if it's wet with wetness ability. And if it's dry, you want to go for speed and corners with a boost that is not wet. All right. So that's going to be for Belgium, speed and corners. All right, next track up. I think I have it written down here. So let me just look from my list that I have written down instead of going back and forth. The next track up is going to be Bahrain, and Bahrain is going to be completely dry. And we see corners like the skull boost here that gives you a good amount of corners, and we see grip paying another feature like the eagle here that gives you a good amount of grip. There's a lot of other boosts down there that gives you corners and grip, like the Nazar here that gives you good grip. All right, and then you could look for another boost that gives you good corners. All right, you might don't want to use your SAR boost on a dry track because it's better off in a wet race. But then you have boosts like the Taros here who gives you corners as well. So you could go, or the odd boost that gives you both corners and grip. All right, which is really good, and he also added some pit time in there, which will make it even better for you guys. All right, next track after Bahrain is going to be Japan. 47% chance of rain. So we see where if it's going to be dry, it's going to be corners and grip. So the same boost that you use on dry Bahrain can be used on Japan, but I would recommend throwing some tire management in there for Japan. So I would go with like the downforce here, which is not coming up for some strange reason. Anyways, I would go with the downforce there that gives you some tire management. Or you could go with the Rooster or the Taurus that gives you some tire management in there as well, with a aspect of the track like the Eternal Flame that gives you some grip there. You could go with that, and it gives you some tire management as well, the Eagle boost like that. All right, if it's going to be a wet Japan, we see where speed and corners, so the same wet boost that you use for wet Bahrain, not Bahrain, for wet Belgium, you can then come back and use those same boosts for wet Japan. All right, Singapore is next. It's going to be corners and grip for Singapore. So if your Japan race was dry, you could go with the same boost for that you use for Japan on Singapore here, as it only requires you to have corners and grip. All right, for Japan, for Singapore, if your drivers has good tire management, you might don't want to need to throw in the extra tire management in there. So you want to throw in some corners and grip. So boost like the Jin would work great on drivers that has good tire management. So if you have like a high level Verstappen, you doesn't really need the extra tires. A boost like the Kawhi or a boost like the Jin would work really well for a Verstappen. That really doesn't need the extra tires because he already has a good amount of tires. All right. So next track up after Singapore is going to be Austria, the Red Bull Ring, and we see speed and corners being the main feature of the Red Bull Ring, and that is one of the top tracks in the event. This year, the Red Bull Ring has been like the most used track in GP events, no lie, hands down. If you think about it, and you see the Red Bull ring a lot in GP events. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot in GP events. You know, so speed and corners is what you want for that Red Bull ring. All right. Next track after the Red Bull ring is going to be the UAE. For the UAE, it's going to be corners and grip. So you want to go in with those corners and grip. The UAE is not another track that the tires eat down really quick. So you want to throw in some extra tire management in there with the UAE. All right, so though you're going to go for corners and grip, a boost like the Nazar that gives you a little bit of tires will be good for one driver as it gives you good grip. And then you come back and look for another boost that gives you some corners with tires. Like the Taurus here that gives you some corners and it gives you some good tires is another good boost. Or if you want to go double grip, then you could go with Eagle and the Nazar for your two drivers, and don't throw any corners in there. It's up to you really. But you want to throw in a boost with some form of tires in there for the UAE, because it's a track that eats down your tires really quick. All right, next track up is going to be Italy. Is another track that eats down your tires really quick, so make sure you throw some boost with tires in there for Italy, like the downforce that requires corners and grip. So a boost like the downforce will be really nice for Italy. So you could go one driver downforce, and then you could go like the next driver Rooster, or you could go Taurus, or you could go Nazar, because it gives you grip. All right, with that extra little bit of tires in there. All right, so that's Italy. All right, the final track on the list is going to be France, and France is another one of those corners that eats up your tires really quick. So make sure to throw a boost with some tire management in there. So the same boost that you used on Italy can be used on France. So make sure you throw a little bit of tire management in there. You could also throw some speed in there with the dead fast. If you choose to pick up some little extra positions on the back straight in France there. Where's a good overtaking position for the dead fast boost. All right, so that's basically gonna be it for this one. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this video. Do you guys use these videos? Should I continue making these videos, or should I just close the curtain on these videos? Let me know down in the comment. Use code word collect now to let me know that you make it to this portion of the video. Really appreciate you guys who watch the full videos, for all your support. And that's basically going to be it for this one. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Well, good guys. Bye. Shout out to Marco Pedrana, Vid Mantis, Alfredo Jr., and Touch My Dilly.
If we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways.